Hi everyone, this is Loveland Johnson, and today we are going to be learning about the law of the big mo. It comes from this book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John C. Maxwell. Let's get started. The law of the big mo. The law states that momentum is a leader's best friend. To explain this, I thought I'll use a train analogy. Picture this with me, a train that is just getting started. It hasn't really left the station yet. You place a small block of wood on the rail, and what happens? The train really cannot move. If there is an incline, it truly cannot climb it. Even something as small as a pile of leaves in front of the wheels could not really get the train going. Now think about the train has left the station, it's picking up speed and it has moved from 10 miles per hour to 20 miles per hour. It's now picked up 40 miles per hour, 60 miles per hour, and now it's running at the speed of 100 miles per hour. What do you think would happen to the block of wood? It would simply shatter it. What would happen to the pile of leaves? Before the train could even come in contact to the pile of leaves, it would all be gone. At this point, even a block of bricks, it could just go through it. Why? What happened? It's the same train. The train had all the potential then. But at that time, during the early start, a block of wood would stop it because momentum wasn't at its side. But now that it's going at 100 mile per hour speed, even the biggest challenges, even the biggest obstacles are not obstacles at all. An incline is an easy climb because it's effortless because of momentum. And I want you to keep this picture in mind as we go through this lesson on the law of the big mo. I love this quote by Jim Collins. It states, momentum is a powerful force. It can either propel you forward or hold you back. We looked at the train and what happens when things are going well and the train is in motion. Nothing can really stop the train. It keeps going forward, it propels it forward. But at the same time, when the train was in the station, even little things can hold it back. So, momentum is a powerful force. It can either propel you forward or hold you back. There are 7 truths about momentum in this book, and we are going to be looking at those. The first truth is momentum is a great exaggerator. Think about uh, momentum as a magnifying glass. So, what it does is when you have success on your side, it just magnifies your success. It looks bigger. Your success looks bigger than it is. And if you look at failure, what happens is failure looks bigger than it is too. What happens is when you are in a forward motion, moving towards, when you are on a roll of success, the success gets exaggerated by momentum. And the same happens when you are on a slump. You suddenly feel even the small things can really stop you. So it acts like a magnifying glass, and that's why the truth is it's a great exaggerator. Think about a time when a coach calls a timeout. When does Have you ever seen a coach of a winning team call for a timeout? I don't think so. When the team is winning, when they are scoring point after point, the coach never calls for a timeout. You know who calls for a timeout? The losing team. You know why they call? Because they want to kill the momentum of the winning team. They know if they're going to let them keep at that pace, they're going to score more. But if they interrupt the play, then they probably can swing the pendulum towards their side. And that's what momentum does. It sort of exaggerates and makes the winning go bigger and better. The second truth is momentum makes leaders look better than they are. When you are on a winning streak, you as a leader now suddenly look like a genius. There is nothing you could do wrong. Your shortcomings are overlooked by the people around you. The mistakes that you have made are forgotten. People have just sort of swept it under the rug because you are on a winning streak. You are taking the team to victory. And when you do that, it gets exaggerated and your shortcomings are not seen at that moment. It also acts in favor to the followers. So you as a follower also look better when you are part of the winning team. When your team, your organization, when they are winning, when the people are motivated and they're doing bigger and better things, you as a person, let's assume you're a level 6 person, when you are part of a winning team like that, as a follower, you now suddenly raise your bar and you function as a level 7 person or a level 8 person. An average person goes above average when they are part of this team, because of the energy around and the people around who are highly motivated, who could lift you up and take you to higher places. So momentum also works in favor for the followers. And momentum is easier to steer than to start. We looked at it at the beginning. Even a small block of wood would stop the train. But what happens when the train has picked up speed? It's so easy to steer it than to start it. So momentum is easier to steer than to start. Momentum is also a powerful change agent. The reason people don't like change is because they are scared of failure. They think they're going to attempt something new, and what are the odds of success? They cannot really tell because it's an unknown. But when the team is winning, when the organization is moving towards, is propelling forward, the advantage is people are willing to make changes because they are not fearing the unknown. They, in their mind, they are moving towards victory and they're willing to make changes because of that. It also is a leader's responsibility. If I am a leader, I cannot be looking around searching for where is momentum. How am I going to find it? It always is my responsibility to create momentum and find ways to build momentum to the people that I serve. I love this quote by President Truman. He says, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. And John Maxwell, in the book, he says, as a leader, if you can't create the heat, get out of leadership. Think about it. You, as a leader, it is your responsibility to create momentum. You should find ways in passing on the fire that you have to the people around so that they too they can carry and run with it. The last truth is momentum begins inside the leader. What happens is, like, you as a leader cannot manufacture momentum. It's sort of cultivated within you, and when it is in you, it gets passed on to your team. So you should be clear about your vision, about the belief that you could take this project to success, and that gets spilled over to the team and they believe your vision because you believe in it. So it starts with you as a leader. It starts within you, inside the leader. I love this quote by Eleanor Doan. It says, you cannot kindle a fire in any other heart until it is burning within your own. So you cannot really, if you're not fired up on the about the project, if you don't believe it would come to fruition, you probably cannot make your team believe. You cannot motivate someone else because you don't have the passion, you don't have the energy, you don't have the enthusiasm that is needed for your people to believe in you. When thinking about the law of Big Mo, I wanted a real life example, and Apple came to mind. In 1997, Steve Jobs returned to Apple. Apple wasn't doing great at the time. It was the future of Apple was looking bleak. It was so close to bankruptcy at that point in time. The products that they had didn't really work. The first thing that Steve Jobs did was he cut down 70% of the product line. He literally came up with four categories: desktop, laptops, consumers, professionals. Anything that didn't fall into this realm had to just go away. He focused on marketing, he did a few things, and then the first Mac came in. It was accepted, but it really didn't pick up speed. In 2001, he brought in iPod. But if you think about the first iPod, it was only compatible with Mac. It wasn't compatible with Windows. But it's kind of sparked momentum at that point in time. Later on in 2003, they introduced iTunes. Of course, now iPod is now compatible with Windows. By 2007, when they launched iPhone, Apple had incredible momentum. They had a loyal customer base, a strong reputation, and financial resources to fund huge projects. And their talent pool expanded because people wanted to work for Apple. And when they launched iPhone, they had a loyal customer base. People were waiting to buy the product, and it no longer was considered a phone, it was a revolution. Apple's journey shows the power of momentum from a struggling company during the bleak years of 1997 to building momentum in 2001, and by 2007 they were unstoppable. Apple's customers anticipated for each new product, and they were willing to stand in line even though the changes were not huge and massive. And that's the power of momentum. It turns obstacles into stepping stones, and it attracts the right people and resources, and you keep going. So, how do you build momentum? It starts with the leader. So, as a leader, if you lack passion and if you cannot ignite your own passion, it's almost impossible to pass on the fire to your team. We sort of looked at it early on too. And it also starts with small wins. You don't have to have big wins, but you can build on your small wins, and that creates momentum for bigger wins. And the third thing is to eliminate any momentum killers. So, what did Steve Jobs do when he took over Apple? The first thing he did was he cut down 70% of the product line. Think about it, 70% of the product line, because he wanted to eliminate distraction. He wanted to only focus on what is important, and he focused on those four categories. And by eliminating distraction, the products that they launched were wonderful and innovative and great. The number four things that you should do is celebrate success. It's true that people are trying different things. When they achieve great things, celebrate it. So you appreciate their effort and also mainly celebrate their accomplishments. Now I have a question for you. Can you name one area in your team, in your personal life, in your department where momentum exists? On the flip side, can you name one area where momentum is lacking? Once you do that, identify three roadblocks that are stopping your momentum. Like how Steve Jobs, when he took over Apple, he cut down 70% of the product line because those were momentum killers. Identify it and eliminate it from your life and bring things that would create momentum. I would like to end with this quote: you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. I would like to repeat it. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great, by the great Zig Ziglar. I hope you found this session helpful. And next week, we'll be looking at the law of priorities. I hope to see you there. Thank you.